All right, Lorena Story, the Wax Queen here, and I am going to do a chest wax for you. I will be using hard and soft wax. My model has never had his chest waxed. He's never had anything waxed. So you always proceed a little more slowly and carefully when you're doing a first time. I'm also going to be sending him home with our body exfoliation kit and our blemish control gel. It's important to know that face, back, and chest are breakout body parts when they first start to get waxed. The way to work through it is to have really good home care and then to get waxed every 4 weeks. So let me get the camera set up. We'll be right back. All right, chest hair grows pretty much in the same direction on everybody. It grows in and down like this, down towards the center and kind of up right with this separation. When we are working on a first time wax, it is always better to put more time on the books and know that you can just go a little bit slower, a little more thoughtfully, instead of just ripping that hair off with abandon. It's nicer to the client. I just did a little bit of cleanup with the lavender lotion. I'm also checking the hair growth, even though it pretty much is always in those directions. Now I'm going to put on some of the jasmine oil, which helps protect the skin. Now, if he was much hairier, in other words, if I couldn't see his skin, I would trim. That's how I know when I have to trim, is when the hair is so dense you actually can't see through it. And generally speaking, you can use soft wax on this entire body part. But because it's his first time, I'm going to do a combination of hard and soft. And the first couple of strips are always, we'll say, the most challenging for the technician as well as for the model or the client, because you actually have to start and end somewhere in the middle of hair, and that's what this strip is right here. That right in the middle of hair here. So you can't be prissy about getting that edge. I kind of want to make defined patterns of growth so that I can go ahead with the soft wax. So I'm going to put on a number of strips. Right here, it's a defining area right in the middle. And the chest and back can also spotty bleed a little bit. That is nothing to be scared of. First strip is always the hardest. So, you notice I was super aggressive about getting the edge, and then I pulled and I made the skin tight and I pulled again. That means I will have protected his skin all the way through the removal of the entire strip. Kind of everywhere else now, these were the two hardest strips. I can now do a strip here and then start this. How was that?
That was okay.
You're okay?
Yeah.
All right, good. See, these are quite long hairs here, and there's something that you can do. I'm going to show you. You can take scissors and literally cut those long hairs. First, I'm going to get it stuck in the wax because that's super fun. Okay. There. I like the phone in the background. I think that's good for filming. See, I can get a little bit thinner with the wax application now that I'm not flat out in the middle of hair. Make the skin tight, pull, pull. You can make really long strips. You just have to protect the hair all along the removal. So, I said there's easy to get little spots. Do not be afraid of it. It is normal. on underarms, some bikini, and chest to get a little tiny spotting. There have been a couple of times where I've done an entire back or an entire chest with hard wax for their first time. The most important thing you can do is take care of your client and then take care of your own emotional journey, because we're in it together. It's not just the client getting waxed. We also have to do a service we are proud of, that we know didn't kill our client, that actually has them want to come back. And when I'm in the middle of hair like this, I'm going to have the thickest edges. Okay, make the skin tight, pull, pull, and pull. Press, pull, pull. It looks very subtle, but I'm skin tight, making the skin tight for the continual removal of that strip. And you will use more wax on the very first time than you will again. So nice, good pressure. I do wish they'd answer that damn phone. Okay. There. Here, this isn't ready. Just press it in. So say I've almost gotten out two separate sides. And yes, I could have done this whole thing with soft wax. I actually think this is nicer to the client by doing some with hard. And how do you go from the belly button down? Well, we're going to figure that out when I get there, aren't we? Now it'll be ready. There. And then I'm going to go like that. Okay, can't break that strip. There we go. Now, let me go ahead with my soft wax while that's setting up. We get really paranoid about going over the nipple. The nipple actually doesn't care. It's not going to be pulled off. I'm just telling you. Nice and thin, good pressure. Okay, remember the hair's kind of long, so it's going to leave a little bit that, okay? Don't worry about that. It only happens the first time. Good pressure when you're rubbing. Don't mess around with it. Don't rub a whole bunch of times. Just make it flat. You have a few little hairs there. You can usually get them just, well, except for that one, because that's going to stay there for the camera. Hold the skin nice and tight. See how easy it is because I have that cleaned with the hard wax. Now if you end up with this, as I told you you might, go ahead and wipe with your lavender. It makes it feel good. Your neck. You know, you can in fact do this entire section with hard wax if you choose. I normally only do soft wax on bigger body parts. If you can see on his neck, I actually went and turned the corner so I'm not putting pressure on his windpipe while I am removing the strip. Okay. Now it's so much easier for me to spread the wax correctly from this side because I'm working from one side only because of a camera. This side wasn't as perfect an application because I couldn't get that angle correct. So when you're watching this side, and you can see I'm completely on the edge and how thin it is, and then I have that puddle, that's how it should look. Super thin, almost see-through. There, a little bit more. With the aqua, which is what I'm using, you actually don't have to be afraid that it's going to dry. It does not. So you can put wax all over. And then be very calm that it's not going to set up on you, and you can just start working. So, hold the skin there. Nice firm pressure. And this is that strip where it's quite long. So you'll end up with kind of a tag. Yeah, not that tag. Okay, start with the last kind of section of the chest. It's quite easy right there, but still 2 sections now. There's something about it the first time. It just makes it easier to get that hair. There. This. Again, because I'm working on a camera, I'm not bringing my body around in the same way I would if I was just working in a room. You always want to keep your own body comfortable. There, help stretch the skin if you turn their head. Okay, come on back. Now, I'm going to do a little detailing. We have some hair left here. I'm actually going to do that with hard wax. The beautiful thing about hard wax is it sticks to itself. So when you're talking about kind of a curvy area like a belly button, you can dang near just put a strip all the way around it, let it set up. Where there is soft wax kind of residue, I'm going to do this It doesn't hurt the person at all, so that when I start to do my detail, they're not sticky everywhere. I have said this in almost every video. Do not do this. It really irritates the skin. You want to calm and cool the skin down at any given time? Take more of your lavender on some cotton and just go over. It feels really good. And let's just do a little bit of detail wherever there's a hair. There's always going to be one hair, but I got it. Okay, I think we're good here. Now, to get rid of the stickiness, jasmine oil. And you can see he's quite red, totally expected. I will take one strip, go over. This gets rid of any extra stickiness and of course any extra wax. One damn hair there, I've got to get it. And even though I traditionally only use the essential oil, post-wax essential oil on face, underarms, bikini Brazilian, because we are in a first-time wax here, get those little bastards, there we go. I'm going to do a couple things. Post-wax essential oil, it calms and cools the skin. It stops any pinpoint bleeding that might occur. And it feels very, very good. Of course, it smells delicious. Next, I'm going to put on some blemish control, and this is also what I'm sending him home with. This helps prevent breakouts, but there's nothing you can do to 100% prevent breakouts. You can try and get a jump on it when you put it on right now, and then you can have him apply it morning and night until their breakouts go away. And then last but not least, the post-wax soothing cream. This helps take the red out, which of course also makes it feel better, because if you take the red out, you take the heat out. So there you go. He was a fantastic model. I did say in my ad, no screamers. He not only didn't scream, he laid her beautifully. There you go. All right, if you liked what you just saw, would you please click and subscribe? It is a way I can ensure that you always get the best education with the finest products and the most skill. Thanks so much. You can also follow us on Instagram, Berodin_wax_, and on my personal, I am the Wax Queen. See you there.